Hi everyone doing the course. Today I'm going to do the third video for the dragonfly body. So in 1 and 2 I showed you how to make the frame and put the small link in, and you should have also marked the positions on the frame with these letters and numbers, which coincide with the loops and the circles down here. So in this video we're going to take the frame and we're going to make one of these loops, and I'm going to show you. We're going to use this is our reference drawing here, and then we're going to solder it on. So we take a piece of cleaned and stretched tin of copper wire, and then we're going to force it round, roll it round something about that size to start the loop. And then we're going to place it on the template, and then we're going to use a really strong magnet, and then we're going to push this one in until it lines up with the drawing. Then we're going to use these pliers, these round nose pliers, just to tweak that in a bit more. I'm doing this side, and then this side I'm going to roll round. So we need to put a bit of overlap in so that we can adjust it later on. So that's the first side. Now I'm going to do this long side, see where it's come off the line. So I'm going to position it back on, and now I'm going to put some more magnets over here to really hold that side in. So I can tweak this side round now, and this side should stay where it is. Although with this size wire you will need to hold it as well. So I'm pulling the wire round till it sits on the line, and now I've got to bend it back the other way slightly, and then I'm putting my pliers there. Do it so you can see in the video, which is quite hard. And then I'm holding it with my pliers, and then I'm moving the pliers down, and then I'm bending it a bit more. Then I'm going to put the magnet there, and now I'm going to do another overlap here. So I've done the hoop with an overlap on both sides. So I'm just going to wind that piece round. Okay, so there's the loop, there's our overlap. We're going to trim this side off here, and then we're going to fit it to the frame. Okay. Okay, so I've now finished the link. I've made, you see the overlap at the end. So now I'm going to fit it to the frame. So I'm going to try and use my pliers so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to spin it round. Can you see that? And then I'm going to slip the loop over there. I'm going to line it up with the notch on the frame. Then I'm going to use a little clip to hold it in place. No, can you see that? So if it's not quite lined up. So if I turn it now, see, so that's why we have the adjustment, because we want to get those loops exactly the same. So we're going to right. So now I'm going to flux the top joint. Now you could do this with a mini gas torch, but we're going to have a go with this. So I've got a 60-watt soldering iron with a 5mm spade, and just clean that tip. It's really important that your tip is in good condition so that it can receive the solder. If you can't receive the solder, it won't form a puddle and then you won't solder anything. So it's not brilliant, but it's a bit more. Right, so I've now loaded my tip up with a blob of solder. I'm now going to put that solder, the iron, and it just moves in, down onto the frame. Got to hold it there. It will take a few minutes, seconds, sorry. And now I'm trying to get the heat to transfer to the frame, which is a much bigger piece, and try and hold it steady. It'll set almost immediately. And there you have it. So now we can, remember this is going to be quite hot. We're going to, oh no, it hasn't actually, no, it didn't actually take. Thought it had. So we're going to apply some more solder underneath. And hope it flows through. Okay, I think it has now. Yes, okay, that's done. Now can you see that? So now we're going to remove the clip. And we want those to be exactly the same. So I'm going to, we're going to adjust them now. Yep. That's going to. Okay, so I've lined them up a bit better, and I've fluxed. It's really important that you add extra flux, and any copper wire is cleaned with steel wool before it to stand the best chance of it soldering. This is quite a high gauge, it's 1.6. So I've lined it all up and I've trimmed up my loop, my overlap. Now I'm going to solder that top piece. It's important that both of the wires are touching, otherwise it won't solder. You will not solder a gap, not with an electric soldering iron. So I'm placing my iron on the top bar and round to one side because I need the heat to come down into the main frame, which is a much bigger piece of copper. So I'm now going to turn it around and put it underneath. I'm going to put a little bit more solder in there, but I don't want too much, I don't want to flood the joint. People think the answer is to put more solder in, and often it's not. It's a question of waiting for the solder for it to flow across the two. Now that looks, yep. So remember, it's hot, you've just soldered it. We can now tweak it a bit more if we wanted to get this perfect. Still hot. So to remove it from the helping hands, and yeah, so that's how you solder the loop into the frame. To get the full body. So now you should have done the wings. I've gone through the body drawing. So the last drawing now, which I'll cover in the next video, is look at the drawing, is how to make the head. I'll cover that in the next video. Now I've got a hoop lined up with my helping hands. I'm now going to solder it up. I'm going to try and use a torch. Copper at this size is quite hard to solder with electric iron. So I'm going to funnel some You see it took straight away. A bit more in there. The solder would always flow towards the heat, so okay, that's good. So now you see I've formed the second hoop just here. That sat there. I've made it so it fits exactly the frame. There it is from the back. There it is from the front. So I'm now going to turn it that way so you can see better. I'm now going to solder it. If it slips out of place, then I'm going to have to try and get it back in position with my tweezers, but hopefully not. Right, just lighting the gas. So I've already fluxed it. So I'm going to focus heating the bar rather than the hoop because it's a much bigger piece. Get it up to temperature, and then I'm going to just take it. I'm just going to flow that. That's good. Just going to check it's not moved. No, it's all good. So now I'm going to do the bottom piece, bottom joint even. Oh, so I'll apply some heat, get it hot. Remove the torch. Flow. Yes, that's good.